we're on location at the Grand Mariner. We're going to talk a little bit about condominium sales year over year. We're going to do a little bit of the market stuff. We're also going to talk a little more in depth about milestone and how important it is for the HOAs and the COAs of all these condominium associations, how they're allocating and taking care of, keeping in reserve, so that your investment stays a good investment. Over the last probably 60 to 75 days, we're starting to see some pricing pressure on condos. If you take year over year, and remember, in every one of these I've talked about how I look at 60-day solds to compare. So the last 60 days of this year versus the 60 days of the same time frame last year. We're down almost 20% here in Destin. It's 119 to 98, so we're pretty close to being down 20%, 60-day period over 60-day period. We're starting to see pricing pressure, so you're starting to see some offer prices out there. People are still trying to get as much as they can for them. Buyers are being a little tougher right now, which is a good thing. We want everybody to walk away feeling good about what they've done, but we are starting to see some pricing pressure. So those prices from 2022, April of 22, and really up until about 75 days ago, those price points are gone for sellers now. It's really a great time. You're still getting a good number for everything, but you're starting to feel the pressure and see the pressure. So condos are staying on the markets longer. I think we're up to about 82 days on average. Some have been out there, if they're priced wrong, they are staying out a lot longer than that. So make sure if you have an agent, or if you've got one on the market, that you're communicating with them. Make sure that you're not the reason your condo's not getting shown because you've got too high of an opinion of your own investment. If you need a consultation, obviously you know how to get in touch with me. I'd love to talk with you about helping you sell your condo. As we move into the milestone report, now a lot of people go, well, there's lots of milestones in life, but the milestone report's a pretty big deal. It came up a couple of years ago because of the condominium building that basically fell in on itself down in South Florida. So the state legislature and the governor passed a whole new set of statutes that said, hey, everybody that's, by your 25th year of being built, you have to have an engineer-driven, managed, and inspected milestone report. They come back with what repairs you have to make, and you've got to get those done, and you have to have a clear milestone report no later than your 30th year of being built. So if you got your certificate of occupancy way back in 1991, you're due right now. We've got a lot of these high-rise condo buildings here in Destin, Miramar, that are all coming up on those dates if they haven't already hit them. So they're all going through the inspection. This building, for instance, has had its inspection. They did a major renovation back in 07, 08. They came in and put new doors and windows in and worked on their guardrails and those types of things. The milestone is structural, so it's because of the collapse in Miami. So when they come in and do it, they're looking at the concrete, they're looking at the iron, they're seeing if it's the rebar to see if it's rusting out, see if there's things going on that are structurally causing the building to not be what it should be and be safe for people to be in. So this building did a major renovation back in those times. They've done their phase 1 milestone inspection. They know what they have to fix. This building's very lucky because it's a non-rental building. The owners are very active in the HOA. They spend a lot of time maintaining this facility. It was built back in 1981, so it's been here a while. But their milestone inspection came in so well that they're not, the owners pay for it, and don't let anybody tell you different. It's all done through assessment. But they're not even having to assess here because they have more than enough money in their reserves to take care of what they did find because they have maintained this building. There are other buildings throughout the state, even throughout our region, and probably right down this beach that are going to have, the owners are going to get assessed because they may have, $750,000 worth of repairs to do. And again, the owners are going to pay for that. So if you own a condo in Destin, you want to be talking to your property management company that manages a building, not your rental company, the management company that manages that building. You want to find out if the milestone inspection has been done. You want to make sure you're involved in the COA or the HOA so that you know if there's any proposed assessments coming or what the cost of that's going to be, because you certainly don't want to be caught blindsided. And I would tell anyone that's looking at a condo to buy one, you've got to ask those questions now. You don't want to close on a condominium here and come enjoy the beach for 2 months and then have somebody send you a $45,000 bill that you've got to pay right away. So make sure you're asking those questions. If you have an agent, make sure they're asking those questions. Everyone should have a milestone report done by now. And if they can't find that information out, that's a problem, and you want to make sure that you get that information as quick as you can. So, condominiums are a different animal because, you're really worried about the inside as a buyer. Your insurance, obviously the building, all that's shared, so you're paying that typically through the HOA. So your, typical COA or HOA assessments down here are almost $1,000 a month now, because the insurance for the whole property is so much. But you're paying for, you're paying for content insurance pretty much. It's almost like a renter's policy. When you're looking at condos, one of the funnier things that I've seen is people have tried to buy a condo and they think just because you own the inside of it, you can do whatever you want to with it. I actually have a client who owns multiple properties, and twice now he has bought a condo and he has decided that he is going to rent it even though they don't allow rentals. And he got away with it for a little while. But obviously the COA and the HOA came down. You have to know what you're getting into. We're in a non-rental building right now, the Grand Mariner. It's been here a long time. It's established. They don't have any of those, short-term rental. There's not a unit in here that can do that. You go 2 doors down, you go to Silver Towers or Shores, or you go back up the road to Silver Shells. They've got buildings in there that are not rental, but most of the buildings in there are. And so it makes a significant difference to what your idea of what your condo is going to be. This is a family, the one we're sitting in now, this family uses it. There's 2 generations that get to use it, and they use it anytime they want to, but they don't rent it out. They can't rent it out. There are other people that want to come down 1 week a year, if at all, and want to keep their condominium on rent. And so you've got a property management company that manages the facility or the development, and then they've got a short-term property manager that handles all of their rentals and those types of things. I would just tell you that, make sure you know what you're getting into. Make sure you know what your desires are for what your property is going to do. All of this is an investment. Some of it can pay, if you've got it on a rental program, it can help pay for itself. If paying for itself is by you being able to come down here and sit on the beach anytime you want to and not have to worry about it, then it's paying for itself too. It's all relative, it's all a state of mind. It's all about what your luxury, what your desire is to do with your condo.